Hi everyone, welcome back to another Diablo Immortal video. So some really exciting news for all classes actually. We're getting brand new essences as part of Inferno 6. It doesn't feel that long ago that we just got the new essences, so this is really great that we're getting new essences to play with for our skills. And the really exciting thing here is that Necromancer is getting a mount, and that's crazy. I was so excited to read that and just, had loads of thoughts going on what it's going to be like, what the animation's going to be, is it going to be effective, how long it's going to last. So this screenshot here is from my Warband member Ricia's video. She went through all of the wizard essences and lists the other classes at the end of her video as well. I'll link that video in the description if you want to take a look. GameZone in my Warband also covered the essences, so I'll post that. So this screenshot is from that video, and as you can see on the top one, the helm essence called Valehallow's Head is a bone spike essence where it says Bone Spike now grants you a mount, increasing your movement speed and making you immune to knockback effects. Your mount damages and knocks back enemies as it moves. So it's just a really exciting, I think this will be the most fun essence to look at out of the 6 new essences for Necromancer, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this come in the game and then trying it out. It's going to be quite fun to use this in things like Terror Rifts, Elder Rifts and even dungeons. Now, I'm not too concerned about the increased movement speed because I have got a really nice speed build where I have to make use of Wraith Form and then Bone Armor to get the speed that we need, and that's good enough. But it is nice that the mount does give us increased movement speed, and the knockback seems quite interesting as well, and the fact that it damages enemies. Now, it's really interesting that they put this as part of Bone Spikes rather than any of the other skills like Bone Spirits or one of the Summon Essences or anything like that. It makes you wonder what it's going to look like. I presume it's going to be like, I don't know, like a horse just made out of skeletons. And, you're just going to get the spiked bones. You can see like the rib cage and the legs and like the skeletal head or something like that. And maybe we ride on that for a while. And that's probably why it's in bone spikes. But I really hope it looks good. Now, I swear if this looks really cheap, I'm going to lose it. I really hope it's not like the cheap bone spirit essence that they brought out, which is firing those skull footballs at enemies. That really looks a bit cheap. I really hope they put a bit of thought into this mount because I know loads of Necromancers are going to be using this and you're going to see it around a lot. I hope it doesn't look silly. Fingers crossed that they've come up with a really good design for this mount and it does look decent when you're actually riding it around. But yeah, that's one thing I'm looking forward to, like what it looks like, the detail, the animation, how long it lasts, and maybe the size of it as well, what the size of the mount. That'd be quite cool. And yeah, I'm really excited to use that. I'll be one of the first essences which I try and get, and I'll be covering that one. So yeah, look forward to that. We do have other essences as well which are quite cool. It seems like the Bone Spikes essence are the best ones out of these, but if we have a look through these, so the next one is an offhand essence called Deathgate. This is where Bone Spirits now draws essence from nearby enemies, conjuring a bone spirit for each enemy affected that rapidly absorbs you, damaging enemies it passes through. So that sounds quite interesting. And what would be cool here is if the spirit actually looked like the enemy that it's absorbing the essence from. So that would be quite cool if they actually got the character model from the enemy that you're actually absorbing the essence from. And that's like in a green spirit form that absorbs you. But we'll have to see what this one actually looks like and if it will be actually useful. And then we have an essence for the pants called Corpse Draggers. This is a Dark Curse essence. We got quite a lot of Dark Curse and Bone Spirits essence last time, so it's interesting that it's sort of carrying on that theme. So this is another Dark Curse one which unleashes a wave that damages all nearby enemies. It charges energy as you move that increases the damage off the wave. It doesn't sound too bad. It would have been nice if it also generated corpses. That would have been quite useful to use in a PvP environment, but it seems like this is quite nice to use like for a burst. You can sort of build it up for a while, charge it, and then when you get a load of enemies around you, you can just click it and then it does that burst. Kind of reminds me of when you use the Eldurin sword as part of the Diablo fight, something like that, which is sort of charged up, and when you use it, creates a blast, damages all enemies around you. It might be fun in environments such as Terror Rifts and Elder Rifts and stuff like that. It might be quite fun to use this one. And then we've got a chest essence which has one of the most funniest essence names I've heard. 3 on a pig post. So this is where Dark Curse also pulls in enemies hit, but cannot occur more often than once every 6 seconds to the same enemy. It doesn't really do that much. It seems very similar to one of the Corpse Explosion essences which sort of pulls enemies in towards you. This would have been really cool in the previous Vanguard season as well, pulling enemies in and just taking them all out at once. This might still be quite useful in Vanguard as well, so I'll see what this one is like. Maybe castle defense, this one might be quite useful as well, but I don't see myself using this one in PvP. I think this one would be a PvE essence. Doesn't really do much, but we'll try it out and see what the effect looks like as well. Then we have one of the essence for shoulders called Spare Ribs. Bone Spike shatters enemy armor, increasing the damage they take by 4% for 3 seconds, up to a maximum of 12%. Now this one actually does sound really cool to use in PvP, and I'm probably tempted to use this one in my Vault build, because I do use Bone Spikes in my Vault build, and I'm probably going to try and find a way to fit this in. I'll have to remember what I've got on the shoulder at the moment. It might be the one that knocks back enemies with Bone Spikes. I will probably swap it out for this one. And you know, I'm taking this one with a pinch of salt. I would be surprised if some of these essences end up getting nerfed or something like that. So I'm trying not to get too excited about some of these numbers, because like we've seen before, I've kind of lost my trust a little bit when they had the 2 previous Mark essences that got nerfed, and we saw how that played out. That was really annoying. So it would be nice if they sort of stick to what they've got for these essences. Hopefully they're being tested at the moment. When they do come out, they're not going to really shock people and get nerfed straight away. But this one does sound great, because yeah, shattering the enemy armor, increasing the damage they take by 4%. Very similar to one of the new legendary gems that we've got that shatters enemy armor as well. And the last one we've got is a main hand essence, Blighted Crop. Critical hits with Bone Spirits triggers Soulfire Novas that add additional damage. Cannot occur more often than once every second, and subsequent damage from multiple Novas to the same enemy will be reduced by 50%. A bit of a mouthful there for that essence, but it seems like this will be a nice one when you do use Bone Spirits and critical hits. Now this one doesn't seem too bad, it's not amazing, and I don't really use Bone Spirits in PvE, so I think this is one which I would end up using in PvP, just to increase the damage you deal when you do get the critical hits with Bone Spirits. I pair Bone Spirits with a lot of Fear Effect, and I've got it in my sort of Scarecrow build that I use for PvP at the moment, which I'm really enjoying. I'll have to remind myself what I've got in main hand and see if there's something I can swap out for this Blighted Crop, and if it is quite useful. Obviously you need to make sure you end up dealing those critical hits with Bone Spirits, otherwise it's not really going to do that much. We'll find out how much additional damage this actually does as well. So they are the 6 new essences for Necromancer, and as I said, the thing which I'm most excited for here is that Necromancers get a mount in Diablo Immortal, so that's going to be really fun and really interesting. It's going to mix things up quite nicely in PvP, and it's going to be fun to see Necromancers going around in that mount. Now I hope that the duration of the mount isn't too short, so you do get to have a bit of fun with it whilst you're on the mount, and hopefully the controls for the mount are quite decent as well. But yeah, it's pretty cool that you're going to get that increased movement speed and be immune to knockback effect as well, and the fact that your mount actually damages and knocks enemies back as it moves. Now I'm thinking scenarios where I could potentially have fun with this in PvP as well, actually, especially just like rushing into a group of people at the idol and knocking them back when I'm on that mount. But it seems like this is one that I'll probably be using in PvE the most. So yeah, let's look forward to these essences. But yeah, I'm going to take some of the wording and numbers with a pinch of salt, just in case they do end up changing. We'll see what they're like when they actually come in the game, and then hopefully wait a couple of weeks to make sure that they don't get nerfed or anything like that. I look forward to covering them. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to talk about that mount essence, and looking forward to it coming in the game and seeing what it's like. If you're a Necromancer, let me know which of these new essences you're looking forward to the most. It does seem like Bone Spikes are going to have the best essences here. Both of these Bone Spike essences sound amazing, and I look forward to using them in my builds. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you on the next video. There's a lot more to come as well.